Thanks for downloading the 28th recording for ASMR Sleep Station. It sounded really generic. This is probably going to be a very free-form recording. And if you've been listening to this podcast or whatever it is, then you know that my mind wanders a lot, and I don't really care. So, thank you for downloading. I really appreciate it. And there's been lots of nice feedback lately, which is very kind, but not required. I had all these clever things I was going to say. They'll come to me, but I probably won't. Well, maybe I'll get to reading something. Who knows? But this particular recording, I'll start off with the feedback first. I think last time I saved it for last. I don't know what I'm doing. Whatever. This is what you get. There's several. I'm gonna look at it right now. In a way, I pride myself on being unprofessional, and I know that podcasts have a definite root in radio, if not a very strong influence and background in radio, even though it's not exactly radio, but it is, in a way. I would rather just be myself and awkward with long silences and be weird and not care than try to keep up with competition. I just search for it on iTunes, and there's a lot of podcasts. I think there's way more than there was a couple of weeks ago. Or no, maybe a couple of months ago. They're all professional. They look professional. They got fancy artwork. And there's Sweet Whispers Sensual ASMR. I can't say that I've ever listened to that, but that's interesting. I don't know what to make of that. As far as I know, ASMR isn't sexual, and I make a definite effort to keep my personal details out of this. Oh, let me, if anybody that's never heard this before has made it this far, which is pretty far, you have to be weirded out by now if you've never heard this. ASMR is, I guess it's a conditioner. I don't know. It's debated whether it's a real condition or not, but it's at least in this realm, it's something synonymous with helping people relax. ASMR or not um, is irrelevant, because if you're listening to recordings of people whispering, even if it doesn't make you tingle and you don't have a strong reaction, it's still relaxing. An endless amount of videos. I don't think you could watch them all. There was a point in my life where I don't even remember the stat, but there was something very impressive about the amount of YouTube videos being generated per second, and it was starting to exceed the amount that like a population of people could watch was being generated. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. The rate of recorded videos was exceeding the amount a population of people could watch. And basically nobody could ever, no group of people could ever have seen all the videos. This is to make you tired, and it's a really weird way for me to just babble. For whatever reason, people listen to this, and I'm thankful for that. For the people that actually are trying to listen to this, it's extremely flattering. I'm not even sure how to respond, which brings me to that was not an intentional transition, but it worked. Feedback brings me to feedback, because I think there's only one, and one person wrote something very kind, I guess. Allison Bechdale is my mom. On June 23rd, wrote, "I think I'm in love. Ellipses. I forget how to say it. And that was a 5-star review. That was the whole review. And it was titled, Who Are You? Which makes me feel kind of funny. I don't know why. You can't even really say that you know me. I have no doubt my personality comes across, and I know I'm not a normal person, but I feel like I have a self-awareness of that, and in a way, I am performing. This is almost entirely me, but me by myself isn't someone who talks to themselves about whatever's on their mind, although I do talk to myself sometimes, but I'd be lying to you if I told you this is exactly how I am, although I can't say that this is exactly how I am when I'm trying to record myself. I'm not trying to be anybody else, although I am making an effort to be more of some kind of voice that helps you drift off to sleep or to take your mind off what you're doing. At least a couple of people listen to this during the day, which I think is interesting. I think I would probably make myself fall asleep, but some people listen to this while they're working or whatever they're doing. So, for someone to think they're in love with this recording, or maybe even me, is it's encouraging. I think all the reviews have been encouraging. If you told me that you disliked my show and told me why, that would be encouraging too. Or if you told me to stop with good reason, that might be helpful. This is honestly a thing that responds to feedback and sometimes doesn't. I'm a bit of an oscillator, and now is one of the times where I just thought about recording and I did it. And I honestly, I think about doing this all the time. And there's people that I think about. I mean, not specific people. I don't really know anybody by name. I don't have real conversations. But in a general way, I think about the people who listen to this show, and it obviously benefits them. And I think about those people, and I want to keep doing what I'm doing. So that's why so soon after my last recording, I'm recording this now. I probably won't get to publish it until next month, which is the month of July in the year 2016, and publish it to the internet where it may be archived and listened to for as long as the internet lives. And I wonder about that sometimes. Like, will there be a time where this type of internet is outdated? Things will always be digitized, but maybe if this were rolled back one type of technology, it would be like somebody writing a small short story, or publishing an essay, and then wondering if that book will exist for as long as people read books. Because now books are still timeless, but they're not read as much as they once were. And things that are more relevant are things that have been digitized and published on the internet. I don't know if there will be another internet. I suppose it's like asking, can you think of what's going to happen next? Was the internet predictable? In a way it was, but how many people predicted it? It's hard to say. Humans are bad at predicting the future, which makes it kind of exciting. You never really know what technology is going to take over. I don't think written technology will last forever. I feel like if people can learn things from listening and having computers understand what they're saying, understand commands and read things to them, then verbal communication will dominate. People may still know how to read, but they won't be as dependent on it. So maybe the future will have more soft AI technology. obvious that that will eventually happen. I've mentioned I can't think of the author's name. I've read, what is it? The Mendel something. Pandora's Star is the big one. I've mentioned that before. Oh, the Commonwealth Saga. Peter F. Hamilton has lots of E. Butlers in his stories. I've mentioned this before. I'm a very repetitive person. I don't mind. Maybe you didn't hear it when I mentioned it before, but that entire series has a lot of soft AI technology where people are connected to very high functioning computers that pull information for them, and they're electronic butlers, just like their name says. I don't know if I fully responded to that last feedback. I don't know what this person is in love with, but me as a person is probably someone you don't want to be in love with. This may come across negative, or maybe even dark in a way, but I don't mind being honest every now and then. And I've already decided this is going to be more of a free-form recording, but if you knew me in person, you would probably think I'm some kind of a-hole, and that I might be a snob or something like that. I'm a lucky person, and that may not be obvious if you know me. I don't really share how I feel. I am a real introvert. Lots of people say that they're shy and say that they're introverted, and I know that they're not. And that might come across like somebody saying they're the genuine article and other people are not, which is true. That is kind of what I'm saying, but I guarantee you I am on the extreme spectrum of introverts, at least that can be known. Of course, there is a group of introverts that I don't know about because they might not ever leave the house, and I may never read about them because they don't write about themselves, and so on and so forth. But my stomach made a funny noise. I'm not totally intoxicated, but I am drinking, by the way. That would easily explain why I'm so talkative and why I don't feel like conforming to reading things and having a more definite format. And my voice keeps cracking too. Sorry about that. Today I'm drinking Glenfiddich 14 year, which I'm not really sure what it is. I haven't even really looked it up, but I've always liked Glenfiddich, and it's coloring your scotch. Who cares what color it is? I guess it kind of, yeah, I don't care. But whatever color it is when you buy it, it's not the true color of it. So they cover up the color of their scotch. I don't know why I care about that. I think I might have been brainwashed, caring about things that other people care about. I don't care about food dyes and everything. My throat keeps making noises, and I keep taking sips of scotch, and it's making funny noise. I just drank a bunch of water too. I think if you drink a lot of water and then some scotch, your stomach makes noises. I'm raising the threshold at which the microphone is sensitive and basically recording more noise. So hopefully this recording is a little bit fuller, and I listened to the last episode 27, and it was very, very quiet. So I'm gonna make sure this one is louder. The length of time between episode 26 and 27 was 2 days. No, I mean 2 months and 4 days. It's a really long time. I can't believe it took so long. I've been busy lately. I think I've said that. Maybe you've been busy too. Maybe you don't want to hear about busyness. I constantly struggle with trying to be honest and talking about the things that are on my mind, and being more of a voice that is above these things. Not better than them, but something that doesn't remind you of the world that you live in. Maybe there's such a thing as being too grounded, too absorbed in whatever culture you're in. I meditated a couple of days ago. It's the first time I've tried to do that in many months. And if you're thinking about meditating, then maybe you should do. Try it. It can't hurt. There's nothing to lose. Just focus on your breathing. You don't have to prepare for it. You don't have to know anything. Just sit cross-legged or not. Cross-legged, legged, or legged. Either way, just sit there and focus on your breathing for a minute, or 5 minutes, or 20 minutes, or 45 minutes, it doesn't matter. If your mind wanders, let it wander. If you're unable to focus, then accept that and relax. myself, or the part of my consciousness that I have control of. If your mind wanders, then it wanders. I don't know if you can restrain it. If you're worried, then you're worried. It's like undertow. You have to relax and get swept into it before you can try to escape or do anything. Once it catches you, it doesn't matter what you do. You can think about it and hypothesize and theorize all you want. But once you're caught, you're caught. And if you relax and let it happen, then maybe you can start learning to live with things instead of fighting them. Alright, that's enough. I sound way too preachy. I edit out parts where I'm too loud or there's a big background noise. I don't ever edit out the stupid things that I say, so I just mentioned that because what I said sounded stupid. That's how I judge myself. I probably come across as a judgmental person if you knew me. I am. I probably am. I haven't figured out ways to stop judging people. I'm harsh on myself, and most of my life I've sought out to surround myself by other people who are harsh on me. It's taken me a while to shed that bad habit, but I think I'm starting to realize now how unfair to myself I've been. I have a list of books that I've read recently. One of my favorite authors, Will McIntosh, wrote a book called Burning Midnight that's young adult. Fantasy, sci-fi type of book. It's pretty good. I don't read much YA, but I thought it was really good. I highly recommend checking that out if you like YA. If you like military science fiction, Defenders was really good. I might have mentioned that before. His books are very likable. I think he's a very, very talented author. Very, very underrated author. But he has won some awards, so he's not terribly underrated, but I feel like he's had a pretty consistent track record for writing good stories. Although I'm a little out of my depth when it comes to young adult fiction, I'm not well read in that. Jeff Vandermeer's Southern Reading Age series, which some people call new. Oh, I can't even remember now. New weird. New. I don't remember. Maybe I could look it up. It's not really science fiction or fantasy. It's kind of like kind of mystery, but not exactly. I wouldn't. New weird. Yeah, that's what it is. New weird. Categorizing things is so pointless. I recommend it though. There's 3 books. What was the first one called? Annihilation. If you read Annihilation and you like it, then you should read all of them. Annihilation, Authority, and Acceptance. Those are very good. I read a book by an author that I don't like, so I won't mention him. Actually, I read a couple of books by others I don't like. Jack Finney's book, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which has inspired a lot of movies at least, and probably some copycat novelists. That was good. That was worth reading. Kinda has an old school feel to it, but it was pretty good. I'm slowly starting to read Kurt Vonnegut's books. I've read Slaughterhouse-Five. I'd imagine a lot of people who listen to this like Kurt Vonnegut. It seems like something that people would like. That's just a guess, though. Anyways, Breakfast at Champions is pretty good. Like all of Kurt Vonnegut's writing. And I think I've read some of his short stories too. He's pretty indescribable. You can't really categorize him. It's worth reading though. I finally read Brave New World. It was good. It wasn't great. I'm lying. I didn't like it that much. I tried to read that book a dozen times before I finally read it. I didn't like it that much. It felt overrated. I don't know why. If something's too old, then I don't want to get into it. There's some other books. Maybe I'll talk about them later. Sylvain Neuvel. The first book of the Themis Files, called Sleeping Giants. That was pretty good. I don't know if he's a new author or not. Wow. He has a PhD in linguistics. That's kind of cool. I don't know if this other book is coming out next year, but Sleeping Giants was fun. If you like the idea of a giant, possibly alien, possibly robotic body parts being found in the earth, and they're at least thousands of years old, then you should check it out. sample. I think there's samples available on the website, on his website. I'm not a well-read person. I just read whatever. There was a time when I was very concerned about how smart people thought I was. I think lately I'm totally okay with people thinking I'm a moron. I really don't care. So if I sound pretentious talking about books, it's not because I have a great opinion on books. It's because I thought they were fun books. Maybe you'll like them too. Whatever. I give a lot of disclaimers. This is me at my most honest. A good portion of my personality is insecurity and trying to cover it for myself one way or another. So, in a way, I don't care, but in another way, I don't want you to think I'm a moron. I don't know why. I don't even know you. Okay. Enough of that. Wow. J.K. Rowling is still writing books. What is going on there? I find that hard to believe. Well, I'm recording this in late July. I probably won't publish it until, late June. I probably won't I probably won't publish it until July. But it looks like there's based on the original news story by J.K. Rowling, Jack Thorne, and John Tiffany, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. A new play by Jack Thorne is the first official Harry Potter story to be presented on stage. It will receive its world premiere in London's West End on 30th July 2016. Wow. That's gonna be crazy. I have a lot of respect for J.K. Rowling. I've never been into the books though. I read the first one. It felt like a kid's book. Period. There was a time when I thought, because some of the stories that I'm interested in don't exist, I should be a writer. Now I don't know if that's such a good idea. I still think about writing though. I haven't written anything in a while. If the point of living in a society is thriving and making money, at least a first world society revolves around capitalism in one way or another. Then I'm not really sure if I'm interested in that anymore. I don't notice it daily, but I'd say every month, maybe, I'm less interested in achieving. I'm not sure what the point of owning property and having relationships and earning money is. I think creating things and making art is more meaningful. But then I also wonder if doing things that are meaningful is important. Where do I even get that idea from? Why must I spend my time doing things that have a purpose? I'm not even quite sure that humans have a purpose. Oh, the book I'm reading now. I think it's called The Island of Knowledge. I'm interested in science and The Island of Knowledge by Marcelo Glacier. I don't know how to say his name. The Island of Knowledge, the limits of science and search for meaning is really good. I think I'm about halfway through that. So far the book is fantastic. It's a very good summary of the history of science and humankind's progress to understanding the world and the universe that we live in. I'm always interested in those things. The reason why I like this book is the same reason why I can't converse with a lot of people, because all of my conversations elevate or degrade into big picture topics, and I end up talking about humanity and our relevance, and sometimes how hopeless our species is and how we're destroying this planet. I'm not going to talk about that now, and that's probably something that's not really appropriate for relaxing, but I'm not good at small talk. Another way to say that is I don't allow myself to be good at small talk. That's a constraint I put on myself. For whatever reason, I must find that attractive, and I must like adhering to it. A lot of introverts, especially introverts that aren't struggling, I think are okay with being isolated and alone in the way that they think. Maybe I'm at that point. I don't know. I think this was enough ranting for one recording. It's meant to make you tired. Even this recording isn't meant to be meaningful. It's just a person talking. I'm just saying whatever's on my mind. Contemplating that people are listening to this and maybe they're asleep or getting relaxed is very comforting. At this point, I think I do it for that feeling, which is selfish in a way. I'm doing it because I want people to be relaxed. I also receive some satisfaction for that. But that's not the only reason why. I think last year I kept ending up in these conversations where people were forcing me to, not forcing me, but they wanted to know what my disposition was concerning certain things. And I kept thinking self-referential statements, meta statements, constantly describing myself and how that's not a good idea. Why would I do that all the time? Even though I probably could be described, something about that was difficult, and I tried to refrain from doing it. And in a very ridiculous way, the first thing that I do when I'm recording these things is just talk about myself and my thoughts. Maybe that's an introvert thing. I'm alone. There's nobody here. I'm talking to myself. And that's when I start saying everything that's on my mind. Either way, probably not worth contemplating, not worth reaching any conclusions. I've talked for long enough. If you have any feedback, send me an email or leave some, I don't know, feedback on a website or whatever. I'll try to do things that work for everybody. But this one, as I determined from the beginning, was just for me to talk and also to test my volume levels. It's quite possible that this setup won't work well, and I'll end up recording something else at a later time, but hopefully I can pull something out of it. Thanks for downloading. Thanks for listening. I hope you're asleep right now. If you're looking for some kind of ASMR or whatever, I hope you find it. If it's some role play or people tapping on things, then try YouTube. I'm really grateful you downloaded this, and hopefully I'll make another one soon. I really want to, but I said this before, and I'm really serious. I'm not lying. I swear to you, I have never been busier and more disorganized in my entire life. And that's why sometimes it takes 2 months to make another recording. Because honestly, I browse the internet and I play stupid video games on my free time. That's why. And making one of these recordings is just, I don't know, too much effort. So, I'm getting back on track. I'm catching up. Until next time, I hope you sleep well and you find whatever it is that you're looking